Has WWE's plan backfired? We've got future plans for a former WWE star, and a WWE legend is critical of the company's new direction. Stay tuned for all the wrestling news. Back in February, WWE released a spate of talent, with some surprising names being among those being let go from the company, one of which was Blair Davenport, who's now back to be Priestley on the indies. She made a quick, shocking return at New Japan Resurgence in May, and then speculations just been sort of bubbling away since then, with it now looking like B is probably going to be heading back to Japan for the short to medium term. A press conference held on Saturday by Stardom was done to announce the participants in this year's 5-star Grand Prix, and B's name was indeed on the list. And this is going to be a second crack at the round robin tournament, but this year it sees an increased field of 32 wrestlers competing across 4 blocks. She then sent a video message into the conference for them to play.
Yeah, she said, win or lose, I'm very aware of how tough these tournaments can be, but I'm going to show how every one of those Joshi girls is Shopai, 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 meaning inferior, and that B will forever be Ichiban.
Meaning inferior, meaning number one.
Number one.
I think B's gonna, she came from the UK, went to Japan, straight into, from the UK scene into Stardom, seemed to massively change in ring as a character, everything, really cemented her style while she was over there. So B returning is a really big deal for me to see her back in Stardom, especially seeing her in the Grand Prix.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it actually as well, because just within WWE, aside from the NXT UK stuff, which again, maybe she didn't reach her full potential there either, but when she got called up to the main roster, called up to SmackDown, I was buzzing to see what they would do, and they started doing little bits here and there.
Pretty alright run through NXT once it was like US NXT, and it was like, okay, Blair Davenport's gonna go on a roll, and then main roster and just breaks. It was like they just put the brakes on.
It was so weird because it was just stop and start continuously, and then she'd get put into something and we'd be like, okay, I'm excited. Now we can get the ball rolling, and then we never did. So for her to go back to Japan and be super excited about it and really just want to just put everything she can into it, I really can't wait to see it, because that Resurgence match that she had was really good too, and if she just continues doing that in Japan, then I am happy with that.
Go on, top Gaijin. Absolutely smash it. Now, another thing that was announced a bit earlier on this year was WWE taking things into a bit of a new direction with, I guess it's like a reality show. Yeah. It's like a dramality. It's like drama and reality mixed together. But WWE created a bit of a stir unveiling the new series Unreal, which promises to take viewers fully inside WWE's creative process for the first time ever. They really hammer that home on the trailer as well. There's a really hammered out. It's like inside the writer's room. Many have seen this as being a bit of a step too far, because it's sort of like showing a bit too much of how the sausage is made. Is it going to have a knock-on effect? Others, however, have just been like, kayfabe's been dead for so long. Does it even really matter anymore? This is actually a very interesting thing to look at. What's the harm in it? Well, WWE Hall of Famer Jake Roberts, not one to pull many punches, and somebody who, when he speaks, people definitely listen. Has thrown his hat into the ring on the matter. He went on his podcast, The Snake Pit, and he took aim initially at WWE monetizing every aspect of their business, saying they've done everything else and made money with it. They may as well do that too. And then he directed his aim at Unreal.
Yeah, he said, I think it's foolish. I don't think the product will ever warrant enough money being made for the damage that it'll do. So that's just my own thoughts.
Again, do you think it is going to have a knock-on effect? Do you think it's going to... Because, it's all people say anyway. People outside the wrestling sphere, it's like, it's fake, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it doesn't really matter. This sort of nullifies that argument completely, beyond the fact that it's obviously it's scripted. It's like weekly TV you'd tune in for any other genre of TV. Will it have an effect on how people perceive the in-ring action, though? Is it going to lead to more kind of speculation and rumor running rampant about storylines? I'm quite excited to see it, if I'm being honest.
I'm excited to see it because no matter what it is, whether it's like with games or with music or anything like that, I always like to see the creative process and how it's made. And with wrestling, even though, as it's been mentioned there, kayfabe may have been dead for a little while, but it was closed off for so long, and even as a young person,
it was always like hushed tones, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. So even as a young person who was so enamored with it as well back in the day, I still wanted to know well, what goes on behind the scenes? How does this, that, and the other work? And I understand from a perspective of maybe like wrestlers of a certain vintage as well, where that stuff was really kept hush hush.
Yeah,
like you could not.
You couldn't even travel in the car with somebody who you're supposed to be in a feud with.
Exactly, like that kind of. So I understand sort of the opinions of someone from that, but I think with how monetized and how much money WWE are making at the moment, it's not going to dent anything. I don't think.
This is it, but I think the other thing to look at there is the fact that Jake Roberts took aim at the monetization of every aspect of the product. I know there's been a lot of flack around the Slim Jim table, but at the same time, I don't know. I see a lot of people complaining about it, and the Slim Jim table looks ridiculous. It does look ridiculous. But I think that, I don't know if it's just because we're from the UK and we're used to seeing like logos slapped all over sports and everything all the time. I'm not really that bothered about it being on the ring. I'm not really bothered about it being that far around, but it does feel like anything now that money can be made from has to be undertaken, right?
Yeah, for sure. I'm sort of similar with you, because watching New Japan and stuff as well, I kind of just sort of like
used to seeing like random logos everywhere.
And then at some points, sometimes you get some really garish, horrible looking logos. Like you can't deny that, but at the same, like sometimes after a while, it kind of just like, it feels like you sort of tune it out a little bit.
Yeah, your brain just turns it to static. Yeah. You're just being silently marketed to like it's they live. You just don't even just consume.
I really want a pepperami. And I'm vegan. I don't want a pepperami.
Yeah, are they going to get pepperami when they're over here instead of Slim Jim?
Maybe.
Can you even get Slim Jims here? I don't even think you
Good
can.
Question.
Get pepperami on the go. But moving over to our main story now. Now, obviously, it's a massive weekend of wrestling coming up. It's an absolutely gargantuan weekend of wrestling coming up. We've got AEW All In. We've got NXT Great American Bash. We've got WWE Evolution. We've got Saturday night's main event XL. It's all just sort of popping off. But back in August of 2024, if we go right back to the start here, AEW had announced that they're going to be taking their flagship All In event out of London, and they're going to be taking it to Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas for the first time, which is a new market for AEW. WWE then announced that the prior announced Saturday night's main event is now going to be running against All In at the same time, forcing AEW to push their start time forward to 2 p.m. Central in order to avoid a bit of a clashy clash. This was then followed by WWE moving NXT Great American Bash event, also taking place on July 12th, to the same start time as All In. Both of these events are then followed by WWE Evolution 2025 on Sunday the 13th. So this has led to, of course, a lot of conversation around the idea of WWE counter-programming their rival company. No, never. WWE? No, never. But at the same time, like, it's a fair playing field. All right, you're sort of allowed to do whatever you want to do, but it's raised a lot of eyebrows, obviously, in the wrestling fan base. It's led to a lot of the tribalism flaring up back and forth. Many really taking this to heart as a direct chance at counter-programming to hurt All In's chances at pulling in a home viewing audience. But a few tweets have been circulating among the wrestling sphere over the last night, drawing attention to an interesting fact, however, which is that AEW have shifted 20,799 tickets for All In as per WrestleTix, and WWE, for their 3 events, have shifted 10,731 for Saturday night's main event, 598 for the Great American Bash, and 4,804 for Evolution, which means that AEW have managed to outpace WWE sales here with 1 event versus 3, with the total as of the last count being AEW 20,799 tickets sold, WWE combined 16,133. So this has, of course, led to a lot of like, whoa, like what's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, AEW All In has been sort of known for a long time, and tickets have been on sale for a long time as well.
This is it. I think they've had a good lead in time here.
I think that's it.
Fresh market.
Yes, fresh market, and then also I feel like with AEW, obviously, because it's one of the biggest shows for them of the year, they've had the build there as well throughout the year in terms to get to these big marquee matches that we're seeing. And I feel like a lot of people are excited for as well. Whereas maybe sort of counter to that.
And 3 shows in the same market as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So close together.
And that's it. And I feel like we've heard sort of reports about talent being unhappy with Evolution and stuff. It does feel like these things have maybe been a little bit bit thrown together. The Saturday night's main event stuff. Obviously, we've got Goldberg's final match.
Big Billy G.
Big Billy G. But then, like, the other matches sort of within that card are also, do you just feel like, oh, well, this thing's happening, just throw that on there then. And then this thing's happening, just throw that there too. So, like, it does feel a little bit
haphazard, maybe.
Yeah, sort of.
Well, just looking at the numbers here as they stand as well, just to kind of take the figures from WrestleTix there. Saturday night's main event is around 1,500 tickets away from selling out. NXT is about 180 away from selling out, so it's a pretty small venue. It's like 780 cap or something. And Evolution is around 2,000 tickets away from selling out. AEW, however, have 3,000 tickets away from selling out their current setup, but it's interesting that WWE's efforts haven't had much of a knock-on effect here. Obviously different markets, but people who might have been considering last-minute travel from whichever market close to Georgia potentially. But the company also, AEW, expects to surpass, according to Tony Khan, $3 million in direct sales by the time the event kicks off. So it's potentially shaping up to be a massive weekend for All In for AEW. They need to stick the landing, but I think at the same time, it's just a massive weekend for all of wrestling, isn't it? It's like so many things. Goldberg's last match.
Well, no, it will be.
It will be. Its own son doesn't think it's going to be his last match, so we'll see. Evolution 2, which is it's all going to be just massively stacked all weekend.
I'm
Are you ready to be glued to a chair all weekend?
I'm ready to be glued to a chair all weekend. I think there's lots of exciting stuff on throughout all the companies and stuff, and that's not just me saying that because I'm actually excited.
Well, that's it for your first dose of wrestling news. We'll be back later on if anything else breaks, but in the meantime, keep it here on Cultaholic. We'll catch you in a bit.